Hi, I'm Kari and I'm the winemaker for Cornerstone Cellars here in Napa. And today we are out in the Rutherford Vineyard. Rutherford is about midway up the valley from between Napa and Calistoga, so we're about halfway up the valley, and we're at one of the widest points of the valley as well, which actually has an impact on the vines here. But as you can see off to the west, we've got the Mayacamas Mountains, and then if we zip around to the other side, Palisades Mountains. And so we are at the widest point of Napa Valley. And why that makes a difference is we get more sunshine during the day. We have this perfect ripening conditions that have a lot of sunshine. We get a little bit of fog in the morning. There's fog this morning. It started to burn off. But we get long hours of sunlight. So it's a really great place for us to be. We are in the Cabernet block. This is clone 337. And this block was planted for us in 2009. So the vines have had a chance. They're very well established. I think you can kind of see the trunks are nice, strong. The canopy is nice and strong. We have some effects from it being a drought year. We have not gotten enough water again over this last winter or the winter before. So the vines have struggled a little bit. The canopy isn't as big and full and lush as it is some years, but that isn't necessarily a bad thing either. We've got shorter vines, shorter canes, and the vines are struggling a little more to actually produce the fruit, which makes the grapes, actually the berries, be a little more small, a little smaller, a little more concentrated. The skin to juice ratio changes a little bit in our favor. So while the long-term drought will have a negative effect, currently it actually is helping us produce some really beautiful fruit. Today, what's happening out in the vineyard is we've got some crews that are going to be coming through here shortly. Today, on the passes they're making is they're dropping some fruit for us. We are at the very end of veraison, which is when the little green berries, the little hard green berries, start to soften, get juicier, and then they start to turn purple. So we've got some stragglers out there right now. Mostly, if you take a look, you can really see that it's almost everything is purple and it's juicy and it's plumping up. But we do have a few little stragglers like this, and so the crew's coming out and they're dropping these. These little grapes, or these little green ones, are just never going to catch up enough, and we really don't want those in the wine. The other thing they're doing out here, if you can see, we've got a couple of short shoots. So every now and then we find a little short shoot that doesn't even make it up to the fruiting wire. That is not a strong enough cane to produce great grapes, so they're going to come through and drop that, and you can see it's a small cluster. It's kind of underdeveloped, and there's still plenty of green in there, so those we don't need. So we're going to come out, and we're also, even if the grapes were all pretty uniform and didn't have a lot of green in them yet, those short shoots shouldn't have clusters on them anyway. So we're coming through and we're getting rid of all the short shoots that they're not going to make it. The other thing that is happening out here today is what they'll do is the longer canes, the healthy canes, they're going to drop fruit if there's too much fruit. If we have too many clusters and they're all stacked up and they're 2 or 3 deep, then the sun isn't going to be able to get to those in the back, and it's not going to be able to ripen them adequately. So we are going to be dropping fruit for that reason as well. And I know at the end it looks like, oh my goodness, what a terrible waste of fruit. It just isn't going to make the best wine. So while it looks good, taste is really what matters. And so we'll come through, and now is a really great time to start tasting because the berries are starting to soften up and there is some juice in them. Let's see, you can see that. So, you can start to taste the flavors developing and chew the skins and the seeds. And the seeds for sure, and they have a long way to go. They're green right now, they're underripe. As we get closer to harvest, the seeds themselves inside will start to darken. They'll turn brown and lignify. So that will give us some tannins as well. So right now, you can taste for what's probably going to be coming in the next month or two for flavors, but it's a little too soon to tell. So then the other thing that the crews are going to do when they come out is they're going to tuck up all the rest of the vines. So the vines are up in a vertical shoot position, and that gives the sun a little bit of a chance to hit this fruit. We want the sunshine to hit the grapes, but not direct and full. You really want a little bit of dappled light which is why you see some of the leaves are still hanging in the fruit zone. But on the shadier side of the vines, you can see that the fruit's more exposed. So this part of the row faces to the north and doesn't get that direct sunlight. So it's been years where we've been getting fruit from this vineyard. We're really getting to know it. It's Beckstoffer Farms is for us. It's the George III vineyard in Rutherford. So we've really gotten to fine-tuned on these vines. They've been, like I said, planted since '09, and we really understand the soils and how well drained they are. And the pruning methods that we need to do to get the best fruit possible. So I'm going to get out of the way here because the crews are getting ready to come down this row and start doing their work and start tucking and start, well, here's a stacked cluster too. Start doing a little fruit thinning for us. And while this looks like a pretty good cluster, I've got to go because it doesn't make the best wine. So that's it for us in Rutherford today. We're going to check in a little bit later on in the month, see where we are. We'll start measuring the sugar. As the grapes start to get ripe, we'll check the bricks on those. And so we'll be out here again, kind of checking up on things. But for now, I say go to your cellar, see if you've got a bottle of the Rutherford Cabernet, get that open and give it a little shot. And I say cheers. We'll see you next time.